Hello again, we're still looking at literal equations, but this time we're going to look at literal equations that have fractions, and specifically when we're solving for b, b is trapped in the denominator. This might also be referred to as a rational equation. We'll talk about those in a different unit. So if we're looking at the three denominators here, if we could get rid of them, then we would have a much easier equation to work with. How can we do that? We can multiply by the least common denominator. So the least common denominator is still something we could find even when we have variables in our denominator. So first look at the numbers between 3 and 6. What's the least common multiple of those two? Well, they both go into 6. Now we need a factor from each of the variables. So x is a factor and b is a factor. Just like the 6 had a 2 and a 3 that were factors, well, we already had the 3 factor from here, so we only needed to take one of them. So we took a 2 factor, a 3 factor, an x factor, and a b factor. That is our least common denominator. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply both sides of this equation by 6xb. Some of you might get quick enough to do this in a shortcut, but I'm just going to distribute this times the numerators of our fraction. So 6xb times 2 here would give us 12xb. And then that's still over 3x plus, and again we're going to multiply it by 2, so I'm going to get 12xb again, this time over b. And on the other side, 6xb times 1 is 6xb over 6. Now, you'll notice we still have fractions for a second, but in each fraction we can cancel out the entire denominator. So here the x's cancel, and 12 over 3 is just 4. So that leaves me with just 4b in that first term. In the second term, the b's cancel, and I'm left with 12x. And the term on the other side of the equals, the 6's cancel, so I'm left with xb. And now we're not done, but we've at least gotten rid of all of the fractions. So back again to remember that we are solving for b. So I see a b on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So we see b in two instances, so we got to get all the b's as close together as we can first. So let's subtract the 4b to the other side. That way we'll get it away from this 12x term as well. So we have 12x. It's equal to xb minus 4b. So because we see b in two places and we can't combine like terms, we've got to factor it. Use the distributive property. So b comes out of both, and I'm left with x minus 4. One step left, but I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to move it up here. So if 12x is equal to b times x minus 4, I've got to divide by x minus 4 on both sides to get that 12x over x minus 4 is equal to b. And that has b all by itself.